The Varan Dominion's warcruisers fell upon the human colony of Kepler's Dawn without warning. It wasn't a battle, it was an execution. The skies of that lush green world were torn open by plasma fire. Orbital bombardments carved oceans into steam and cities into molten scars. The humans, miners, farmers, families, had no military, no defense grid. They were settlers, not soldiers. But the Vran didn't care. To them, it was an act of demonstration. Admiral Karroth watched the destruction from his flagship Dominion's Pride, claws folded behind his back as he gazed through the viewport. "Let this be an end to the Terran infestation," he said, voice dripping with contempt. "Their expansion ends here." His officers chittered in laughter. On the holoscreen, transmission intercepts from the surface played. Desperate human distress calls, futile pleas for help, cut off one by one in bursts of static. "Pathetic," Karroth sneered. "A species that crawled from a dirt ball dares to claim the stars." Below, the last human ship, a colony freighter named St. Mary's Hope, tried to flee. The Vran shot it down for sport. The Admiral watched it burn across the sky like a falling star. "Send the recording to the Galactic Council," he ordered. "Let them see what becomes of those who defy the Dominion." He didn't know that message, that boast, would become the greatest mistake in his species' history. The mockery of Earth. The news reached Earth within a week. The Vran made sure of it. They broadcast their victory address across open frequencies. The message was simple. Earth's colonies are over. Submit your worlds or share Kepler's fate. The galaxy watched with morbid curiosity. The humans had been newcomers, ambitious, friendly, too trusting. They'd brought trade, technology, art, and curiosity to a cynical universe. Now their naivety was repaid in fire. The Council worlds whispered, "The humans will surrender. They're not warriors." And at first, the silence from Earth seemed to confirm it. No transmissions, no threats, no retaliation, just silence. The Vran celebrated. On their capital world, banners of conquest fluttered across citadels carved from obsidian. Admiral Karroth was awarded the title Breaker of the Dawn. Crowds roared his name as he declared from the balcony, "Earth is nothing. Their time is over. We are eternal." His speech was broadcast to every Dominion fleet. Laughter filled command decks. Toasts were raised to a future without humans. But as the celebration continued, something began to shift. Trade routes with human merchants went dark. Stations that once sold Terran goods fell silent. And far across the void, in the Sol system, every telescope that had been open to galactic communication closed. Earth had gone dark, not silent, dark. The stillness before storm. 3 months passed. Then 6, then 9, no word, no contact, no diplomats. The Dominion's spies reported unusual movements near Sol, ships vanishing into uncharted space, energy spikes beyond known thresholds, and orbital shipyards working day and night under full blackout conditions. But no one could confirm anything. Then, one day something appeared in the outer rim, a faint, encoded signal on an ancient Terran frequency. The Vran's analysts intercepted it and laughed. It was only 4 words. "We are coming home." Admiral Karroth dismissed it as bravado. "Let them come," he said. "We will end them again." He deployed half his fleet to the frontier systems, ready for a show of dominance. But his ships found nothing. No scouts, no enemy fleets, no transmissions, until they did. The VDS Herald of Triumph, a Vran battleship, vanished mid-transmission. No debris, no distress call. Then another. Then 3 more. Their last logs were fragments of static, and one phrase repeated through terrified shrieks. "They're not ships. They're shadows." Then silence. Karroth ordered a full investigation, but before the first report reached him, the stars themselves began to change. Earth awakes. When the Terran fleets emerged, the galaxy stopped breathing. They didn't arrive through jump gates or warp corridors. They tore open space-time itself, folding the void into shimmering, silent corridors of light. The first human dreadnought, UNS Retribution, emerged over the Dominion frontier world of Zavok. The planet's defense grid activated instantly, thousands of plasma batteries targeting the massive vessel. But the dreadnought didn't fire first. It simply spoke. A message broadcast across all frequencies in every known language. "This is Earth Command. You declared our doom. Now witness yours." Then came fire. The hammers of humanity. Humanity's fleets did not fight battles. They conducted exterminations. The Vron's frontier defenses evaporated under mass kinetic bombardment. Not energy weapons, but solid metal rods, accelerated to near-light speeds. The impacts shattered continents. Their fleets tried to counterattack, but human ships were beyond comprehension. Smooth, angular, black as obsidian with no visible engines, moving like thought. When Vron missiles struck, they phased through shields that shimmered like liquid glass. When they tried to flee, their warp routes collapsed, jammed by human gravitational snares. Within days, 3 systems burned, and yet Earth didn't speak again. No demands, no negotiations, only advancing silence. The Council, horrified, tried to intervene diplomatically. They received a single reply from a Terran transmission hub. This is not war. This is justice. The Dominion Falskar Roth's fleets fell back to defend the core worlds. But it didn't matter. The humans came like a tide of ghosts. Orbital defense rings that had stood for centuries melted under concentrated microwave lances. Dreadnoughts appeared inside planetary orbit. Inside, skipping entire light years through folded spacetime. Entire communication networks went dark. Artificial suns went nova, ignited by Terran antimatter payloads. And through it all, the humans said nothing. Every broadcast, every transmission, every plea for parley was met with the same cold response. Kepler's Dawn remembers. The Vrons soon realized that the humans weren't simply conquering their worlds. They were erasing their empire. Industrial moons vaporized. Shipyards consumed by black hole generators. Genetic databanks and archives wiped clean. Not conquest, excision, the last admiral. Kar Roth's fleet, once the pride of the Dominion, made its final stand above Vron Prime. He watched from the bridge as the human armada arrived. Not hundreds, not thousands, millions. Ships filled the sky from horizon to horizon, blotting out the stars. Some were kilometers long. Others were smaller, darting like shards of light. All bore the insignia of the United Terran Navy, the blue and gold emblem of a planet once mocked as primitive. The Admiral ordered every gun fired, every weapon launched, every reserve mobilized. For a brief, brilliant moment the sky became a sea of fire, and then it ended. The human counterfire wasn't loud. It wasn't chaotic. It was precise. A single barrage. One coordinated strike. Every Dominion ship ceased to exist. Every fortress disintegrated. When the light faded, the Admiral's flagship was all that remained. He opened a channel, trembling, voice cracking with desperation. "Why? You could have ruled the stars. Why this?" A Terran voice answered, calm, steady, and unbearably human. "Because you taught us that mercy is wasted on monsters." The transmission ended. Moments later, the flagship vanished in a silent flash of light. The end of the Dominion, when the fires cooled. Nothing remained of the Vron. Their homeworlds were gone. Their records erased. Their names stricken from every galactic registry. The Council gathered an emergency session, terrified to even mention Earth aloud. They sent envoys, or tried to. None returned. The Sol system remained sealed, surrounded by a curtain of dark matter and silence. But sometimes, when a probe strays too close to the Terran border, it picks up whispers. Faint, fragmented, almost like a voice carried on solar wind. We remember Kepler's Dawn. We remember the children. We remember who we are. The price of arrogance in time, the galaxy rebuilt. Trade resumed. Empires rose and fell, but none dared approach Earth again. Every species taught their young the same lesson, whispered in the dark like an old prayer. Never provoke the humans. They told tales of a quiet world that once sang to the stars. A world of artists and dreamers, explorers and poets. A world that believed in peace, until peace was shattered, and when it was, that world became something else, something ancient, patient, and merciless. The galaxy would remember forever what happened when the Vron declared Earth's doom, because in the end, they found their own.